Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? Everyone okay? All right. How are you guys feeling today? You guys good? I have some news to share with you guys. Now, today, we're going to talk about the International Criminal Court. I know this is not specifically American news, but it kind of is because America very much started in 1776 by telling outside powers, fuck you. You're not in charge of me. I'm in charge of me. I'm sick of your fucking bullshit. That's kind of what we told King George. It's kind of what we told the outside body. I mean, it might have been a little gentler than that at the start, right? We did a video on that about the Stamp Act and how everything got rolling. But the thing is, we are very, very reticent to be ruled in places where we don't have representation, right? And that's why we don't like some outside court having any claims to. Oh, hit the wrong button. There we go. Let me go here. This, then this. There we go. And we don't like having outside forces trying to determine how we deal with the law, right? We are very, very reticent to allow this. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And you know what? This is very important to American news because can you imagine you elect the president and someone from outside says, "Oh, we're going to arrest him." You elect the governor and someone from outside says, "Oh, we're going to arrest him." Like if anything happens to a governor or a president, there are things that can be done within the law that allow for this, right? But it is what it is. Oh, yeah, everything was fine. Everything was fine. You know how it is. Everything was fine. Let me see here. Oh, why is it doing that? Oh. Can you guys see this okay? Let me try to widen this. Here we go. All right. And we're going to talk about this, right? This is in we're going to talk about, local stuff too. This video is kind of positive. There's going to be a negative, you know, we might see some positive and negative. I want to try to do like around a limit of not limited to, but at a minimum 5 reactions to like kind of shorter clips about this to see what you guys think, to see myself react to this. Like I've seen some of this. I think I haven't seen the full video, but we're gonna react to this right now, see what's going on. Like he's starting like just by reading this, for 250 years Americans governed ourselves as a free sovereign people. I think that's a great start to what's going on here, and here we go.
For 250 years, Americans have governed ourselves as a free and sovereign people. We choose our own leaders, we determine our own laws, and when we're accused of a crime, we stand for judgment before a jury of our own peers. This is the essential and indispensable feature of our form of government.
Okay, I wanna touch on something here, right? Because people are gonna say, well, if you are only accountable to yourselves, how would outside forces be able to get justice, right? How would an outside force get justice when you do ill? And I would say to that, who is more just? Like we have jailed our own soldiers when they do some bad actions. We have settled disputes, very fairly, uh, by my understanding. But is Russia more fair? Is China more fair? Who is more fair? Is the UK or Germany more fair when they settle foreign disputes? Right? So our own citizens will not allow us to abuse the outside world. Our own citizens would have a field day if we did evil around the world. And this has been the case with WikiLeaks. This has been the case with, trying to think of another case. Oh my God, I forgot this guy's name. The kid. Okay, let me look up his name. Edward Snowden. That's the guy. This has been the case with Snowden. We looked into our own policing, how we interacted with other nations, how like this is something that we keep very much. Yes, Snowden, the chat knows. This is a very smart chat. Yes, a couple of you in the chat, Effie and Physengicist, which is physical engineering physicist engineer. That's like a. I wonder what you do. That's like you're into physics and engineering. Okay. I respect science, but I would add that, that who is fairer to the outside world than America? Physicist and engineer. Okay.
is the foundation of our shared way of life. But today, powerful people in faraway places want to take that away from us.
Last time that happened, we went to war. In fact, we've done it twice. Like two times. Because there was the War of 1812.
They believe that they should be in charge of your laws, of your country, your life, and they don't care whether or not you agree. Halfway across the world, there's an institution that calls itself the International Criminal Court. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. But chances are you don't know the names of its judges, of its prosecutors, or its president. And you shouldn't have to. But as we speak,
Yeah, we don't have to know who the fuck you are. You're not in charge of us. As we speak, the ICC and friends are waging a war. Let's see.
the ICC and its friends are waging a war against our country, not with bullets or missiles, but with statutes and compacts and the force of so called international law.
I don't know what this means. Are they saying that they're going to sanction us? Like, who are they going to sanction that we wouldn't sanction right back? Like, we already went through this with the tariffs. Like, people tried to tariff us back. That lasted about a month. Like, within a month, they were all bending the knee. So I don't know who thinks they're going to tariff us or make some compact and make some kind of side deal, side hustle, side group that they're going to do some shit. BRICS have been trying this shit for like, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years. They can do all the little accords and things they want in the international law, but that's not going to matter.
When the ICC was born 24 years ago, they told us that it was merely a narrow backstop, a global court that would step in to prosecute only the gravest offenses, things like genocide and war crimes, and only when a nation's courts were unable to prosecute.
Okay, this is very important, and only when a nation's courts were unable to prosecute them on their own. Okay, I see. I see where this is going. Oh, okay. What are we saying here in the chat? They ordered the arrest of Netanyahu too recently. Suspect. Did they order the arrest of the leaders in South Africa that are calling on the genocide of the Afrikaners? Right? Because if the Gazan situation is the standard for genocide, then the situation with the Afrikaners and the Christians in South Africa has met and surpassed that level. So is justice blind, or is it bought with oil money by jihadists in power?
Them on their own. But the truth is, it was something far more radical and extreme. It was a global tribunal staffed by unelected globalist bureaucrats.
Oh, wait, let's go back a little bit. Well, ho, ho, ho. A global tribunal staffed by unelected globalists. So there was no election? Who put these people in power? I wonder. Global tribunal. Who are these judges? How does this thing work? I think I'm gonna try to find it if I can, and maybe check it for tomorrow or another day. See if I can find like some kind of oversimplified video of what the international court is and how its judges are elected and all this kinds of shit. Yes, we do elect judges in the U.S. Yes, that's absolutely true. That's one of our problems when judges don't follow the law. Of course, we elect judges. Yes, there are judges that can be appointed, but that's the Supreme Court, and they get a lifetime appointment so that they can't be swayed by elections. Like the reason that in the Supreme Court, first of all, the Supreme Court does not decide cases, right? It kind of like sends them back with a verdict. It says, okay, you're appealing this to the highest court, and we say this appeal is constitutional or isn't constitutional. So go back to your court and revise this this decision as proper. Like they just give like constitutional instructional instruction on, look, the ultimate law is the Constitution. We interpret the Constitution to apply thusly to this appeal that you have brought, right? And the reason they aren't elected more often, right, they're not swayed to it, they get a lifetime appointment, is because if you have them be chosen every 4 years, that's a problem because they'll bend to local sway and timely sway. Like what is popular today might not be what is a correct interpretation of the intent of the law and the letter of the law. So that's why. Yes, everything was okay with the family. With the letter of the law, and that's the problem, right? We have to understand that our judges, yes, they are elected. It's the people who decide who rules over them, and not only that, when we have lots of cases, they are decided by juries, and juries are just peers, right? So the judges, in many times, you can ask for a judge to rule, or you can ask for a trial by jury. You can petition that. So that's a lot of what goes into it. I don't know. Don't. I don't know where you guys live. Don't you guys get to elect your judges? Because if you don't get to elect your judges, that can be a problem. We have some appointments, but if we don't, if the judge isn't elected, same thing for the prosecutor. You have a chief prosecutor, which is your district attorney. That's also appointed by the by vote, right? So let's say people vote for a district attorney that doesn't want to prosecute illegal aliens. That is a problem, right? That is a problem, but it's a problem that has to be dealt with by a higher court because it is the people that get to choose that. So, you can do that, but that district attorney can't infringe on the civil rights being constitutionally granted, right? Okay, so you may not want to prosecute X or Y crime locally, but if not prosecuting that crime causes a civil injustice that goes against the Constitution, then the feds can step in. That's kind of how that works out. Am I being clear about this? Do you guys understand? And I'm by no means a person who studied the law. This is just your layman understanding of how the law works, right? Basically, you can't go against the Constitution. You do have a lot of leeway on your local laws. You just have to make sure that those local laws don't break the constitutional law. And the constitutional law is basically freedom of speech, the right to defend yourself, you know, the right to own and defend your property. Some in some places, I would argue that the local laws aren't constitutional, that you're not allowed to defend yourself, to keep and bear arms. And that's something gets argued a lot at the Supreme Court. Yeah, the Obama and Biden judges, some judges, I think it might be at the federal level, get appointed, but they get appointed by people who are elected, right? So you elect this person by popular vote and by electoral votes, right? Like you got to do electoral votes if it's president. So he gets voted in. He gets to pick some judges, but you can't have every single post in the government be filled out by vote. That would be like you'd be voting all the time, right? And you'd be having to follow 20 campaigns to even know who these people are. So when someone is voting into power, one of the powers that is voted into is the power to appoint some judges at a federal level. But when it comes to states, states usually have elections for judges and district attorneys. And this is another thing, it also changes state by state. The appointed justice is to have to be confirmed by Congress, though. Yes, that's another stopgap, right? There are confirmations that you have to go through, so it's not just one sided. When you have Congress, that's a lot of people that have to you know uh, also approve of these judges. Usually, they just say okay, fine. That's what usually happens when it's a Supreme Court judge. The the test and the hearings about it and the like, I would say, like, the job interview is a little rougher, like it's a little more public and contested because of the long time that a Supreme Court judge serves. But the point is that the people who rule over you, like the people who are the judges, have to go through a lot of safeguards so that the people are represented when they get put in their positions. Like a local, state, or county judge and sheriff and district attorney has to go through a vote, right? A federal appointed judge has to go through Congress and they have to be selected by someone who was voted into power. That the Senate is slow balling this, right? They're slow rolling that, like, there's some bullshit going on, and that's that slippery slope argument that I say, man, just fucking do it because we're at the bottom of the fucking slope. Anyway, I've gone into a bit of a tangent, but I think it's an important tangent because as I understand it, like 50% of the audience is international. So you guys might not even know this, right? So I want to make sure that I'm cognizant enough to like let everybody understand that what's going on here, right?
It was a global tribunal staffed by unelected globalist bureaucrats who claim their power is almost unlimited. The danger of this global court has only continued to grow. Today, it threatens every aspect of our political and legal system. Border Patrol agents removing violent criminals from our country, American Marines risking their lives to defend our homeland, prosecutors working to dismantle terrorist plots to attack and kill Americans.
Okay, so what we don't want is an international court to interfere with the people he just talked about. Like he just talked about American Marines, Border Patrol, and prosecutors being put on list because they're doing their job, like, so, like safeguarding the border. That's their job, right? And is some court on the outside gonna say, hey, you can't, oh my god, look who's here, hey, how you doing, hope you're well, hi Shauna. Yes, like I was saying, you don't want the prosecutors, the Marines, the Border Patrol to be accountable to some outside court.
Prosecutors working to dismantle terrorist plots to attack and kill Americans. If we stand idle, all of them would be at the mercy of foreign judges thousands of miles away, facing the constant risk of prosecution and even imprisonment for the so called crime of defending their own country. The American people never agreed to any of this, and they never will.
Okay, so what we're talking about is the International Criminal Court going to go against us for ICE? Is the International Criminal Court going to go on against us because we go after some terrorist organization funding the wrong people and call it that it's racist or whatever, right? Our people, our Marines, our Border Patrol agents going on vacation suddenly get stopped by Interpol. That's the kind of problem we're talking about here, right? Can you imagine? You work ICE, you do your job, you're getting rid of some, you know, pedos and traffickers, right, and drug traffickers, and you're getting rid of the worst of people. But some international court, right? That's America's Latinos. Hey, man, Marcus Rubius, first of his name, hopefully going to be president one day. It's going to be the planet's Latino. But because leading the world, it is what it is, right? That's what America does. So the thing here is, we don't want those people stopped by Interpol. Can you imagine? Like, you're a prosecutor, you're telling people, yeah, no, you got to go home. You can't stay in America. You committed these crimes, and fuck, you got to go. And then this prosecutor has his vacation. Oh, I'm gonna go on vacation to, you know, I don't know, Mexico. I'm gonna go on vacation to Canada, and they get arrested by some international Interpol cop because of the ICC. You can't have that, right? So that's what we're talking about. So let's take it back a little.
Agents removing violent criminals from our country, American Marines risking their lives to defend our homeland, prosecutors working to dismantle terrorist plots to attack and kill Americans. If we stand idle, all of them would be at the mercy of foreign judges thousands of miles away, facing the constant risk of prosecution and even imprisonment for the so-called crime of defending their own country.
That's what I was talking about right there.
The American people never agreed to any of this, and they never will. Read the words of our Declaration of Independence. We fought a revolution against a foreign power, transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. Independence is our birthright. We will never let foreign bureaucrats take that away from us.
I think it's pretty clear right there. Like, this is the problem. Like, we're not having other people judge, our actions through to their standards, to their elected or unelected officials. Like, that's not happening.
This administration will not sit by as the ICC and its allies seek to threaten our people. If they believe they can deprive us of our sovereignty, we will teach them the full meaning of American resolve.
All right, I think that was excellent. That's an excellent video. I think it really explains the reasoning of why we don't allow foreign powers to have any leeway or say into how our citizens are treated. I think we have fought two wars, not one, two wars to prove that, and have even fought outside wars to help other people be able to determine their own self-governance. Like, we didn't want Germany ruling over the UK and all of Europe, so we went to help them, right? We didn't want Imperial Japan ruling over all of China and Korea, so we helped them, right? They did attack us, so that might have edged us into it, but we do believe in self-determination. And whenever we go against that is when that determination reaches outside the borders of a nation, which is why we have a bit of problem with Iran, because their proxies keep attacking outside of their borders. They attack us, they attack many people, and it's expansionist aspirations are the problem. I think we're going to cut this video here. This is going to be the first reaction we have tonight. I do want to look at some other things though, because I want to see what this is all about. Let's see here. I want to make sure you guys can see this. All right. I don't know what this is. I have had some people send me some clips. This might send me a little bit into a rage. Not sure. It might. Let's read this out. ICC chief prosecutor says fellow ICC judges and UN officials face direct threats, including his family, over Israel-related cases. Okay, post the threats. Show Interpol. Have the people like what does that mean? Khan said 12 U.S. senators sent him a letter stating, "If you target Israel, we will target you and your family." I want to see the letter. I don't believe him. Threats were followed by action, sanctions, frozen bank accounts, and travel restrictions. Well, that doesn't sound like a threat. That sounds like a fulfillment of an action. Like 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 if it says we're gonna kill you, we're gonna torture you. That's one thing. But hey, you're interfering with you know local stuff and regional stuff, so you're gonna get interfered with, and that is followed by some action. I don't think that's a threat, homie. I don't think that's a threat. I think that's that's check and mate. I think that's an action taken. That's not a threat. A threat is when you're gonna do something. They did something. Let's see what's going on here.
Well, we see an increasing proclivity on the part of powerful states to use coercive measures. I've mentioned that there was an arrest warrant against.
Oh, coercive measures. Wait a minute. So when you look at this piece of shit. Okay. Let me get this fucking straight, right? When you make threats to arrest Americans, when you make threats to arrest our allies, and you make arrests that if anywhere they go in the world, you're gonna arrest them and you're gonna lock them up. That's not a threat. That's not a threat, right? But when you get it done to you, well, then it's a threat, right?
This person sanctioned by President Trump in February 2025. And of course, it was quite lonely for several months. I was the only one.
Oh, okay. Lashes out and complains at the blowback. Oh, I see.
And later on, some judges and deputies, I think in about August, September, they were sanctioned. I just think it's unwarranted.
Unwarranted? Then why you put out warrants? So the guy that's putting out warrants is talking about stuff being unwarranted. If it would have been unwarranted, you know how it would have been unwarranted if you wouldn't put out warrants. If you don't put out warrants that you're gonna do some shit, then it wouldn't be unwarranted. What are you doing? You got problems with the genocide in Gaza? Then why don't you have problems with the genocide of the Afrikaners and the Christians in South Africa? Because you're a bunch of hypocrites, pieces of shit, and that's why your warrants are warrantless. So after you put out some warrants, you say, hey, they took my money. That's warrantless. Oh, that's our way of telling you, fuck your warrant.
People try to enter public service. Some do better than others. But to use the power of the state to coerce.
To use the power of the state to threaten the freedom of people with jail. That's what you're doing.
To intimidate.
That's what you were doing when you asked for the arrest of people, when you call people genociders, when you order the International Criminal Court to arrest people. You're the motherfucker that's doing the shit. It's like so much projection.
Is deeply dangerous. We see this tendency to what's happening in some countries.
Deeply dangerous for you, motherfucker. It's your fucking bank account.
Domestically with prosecutors or attorney generals of previous administrations. We see threats against UN special rapporteurs like Francesca Albanese.
Hey, yeah, I don't give a shit who that fucking bitch is. Fuck around and find out.
Or judges of the ICC or myself. We see threats in the media about putting sanctions and targeted measures against other individuals who simply take a different view. And they don't in the...
It's not simply take a different view, motherfucker. You're threatening arrest. You fucking lying sack of shit. You're threatening with arrest. What is an international criminal court? It's a criminal accusation. Unless your whole fucking court system is bullshit, that you're threatening with international criminal cases. And criminal cases are not the same as civil cases, right? Like the situation would be criminal, so it goes with jail.
Most cases, at least in my case, and in the ICC, I'm sure, take a different view out of malice, out of bias.
You're the malicious one. You're the one that's biased. How is the standard for genocide so low in Gaza and so high in South Africa if you're not a biased sack of shit?
Or out of any antipathy to any people or person in the world. It's simply an exercise of responsibilities.
That's very irresponsible when you have different standards for different people.
Given that one has to look at the evidence and the law and apply the law fairly.
You have never applied anything fairly. That's the fucking problem.
Equally, for example, in Palestine and Israel, as we did in Ukraine and Russia,
no, you fucking didn't. You lying sack of shit.
Equally as we're doing in Afghanistan and Myanmar, and the list goes on. And to cause pain is
okay. Don't start shit if you don't want shit. You can't start shit and then say, "Oh, it hurts when you hit me. It hurts so hard when you defend yourself." If you don't start shit, there won't be shit. But you want to start shit, and then you're like, "Oh my god, there is shit." If you don't start shit, there won't be shit. If you don't fuck around, you won't find out. Why are you being fair to Russia and Afghanistan is the real question. I don't know that they're being fair to Afghanistan and Russia. I mean, are they putting on an arrest warrant out for Putin? I would hope they are. Are they putting on arrest warrant for whoever the guy is that says he wants to kill the boa? That guy in South Africa, is there an arrest warrant out for him? Right? What is he talking about here?
Not an unanticipated consequence, it's the desired outcome. Because you've seen from public sources, even before the current administration in the United States.
Even before the current administration? What about it?
Took office, 12 senators wrote, and they said, you target Israel, we will target you and your family.
Good. Keep fucking around. Keep lying about that fucking genocide. Genocide where your population goes up. Keep lying about genocide. You know what I don't like about these pieces of shit? These pieces of shit are like, you know what I like them to? Women who make false claims of rape. Because you know what happens? It makes women that go through real rape, it diminishes their standing. People who go through real abuse, when people falsely claim abuse, it diminishes the justice when there's real abuse, because it diminishes the belief in it. Like Me Too at first it was like, wow, some shit's going down here. By the end of it, it's like, oh my god, someone breathed on you wrong, and now you're so, oh, Me Too. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there were some bullshit ass cases by the end of Me Too. And by the end of Me Too, believe all women became believe no women. We can't believe these bitches. And you know who did that? All the fucking false claims. And that's my problem with it. These fucking false claims. A real genocide is what is a numerical thing, right? Well, they don't have defining characteristics, because if they had defining characteristics, the much higher death rate in South Africa would be considered a genocide. But whenever you look at the statistics and you look at what's happening in South Africa, it's not a genocide. Why? It's white people, not because of the numbers, because if you look at those numbers, that's very high. If you look at the ratio of dead soldiers versus dead civilians in Gaza, that's not a genocide. The targets are obviously mostly not civilians. These are combatants. And what's going on in South Africa is very obviously an attack on a race and a religion, Christians and white people. And they're being targeted in a very specific way. So that's are the defining characteristics that are not being treated fairly.
You have been warned. That's almost a verbatim quotation. And so
Yeah,
one can say in
motherfucker.
this area, at least, they are truthful and they've made good on their promises.
That's right, motherfucker. That's right. Okay, let me see here. The problem with definition of genocide in the international law. Oh, so okay, is the destruction in whole or in part of a national, religious, tribal, or ethnic group. Okay, so I guess Hamas is committing a genocide in that case. In part can mean any war against any nation. Yeah. So the problem is these international courts go by some international definitions that are so loose that they can apply it to anything. If they have some kind of problem with definitions, they should redefine and seek to sit down and write the laws in a way that have some standards and metrics that can be applied equally to different situations. If you got some wishy-washy bullshit, abstract, oh my God, what's the word that I'm looking for? Ambiguous definitions to what is a genocide, that you can just apply it to whatever you want, whenever you want, and not apply it to what you don't want. That's the fucking problem. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because the court as a whole has been targeted, but I deprecate.
By the way, these comments on what their definitions is brought to us by Romancing the Trolls. Thank you very much.
It's undermining the moral authority of states. It is dividing the international community. In the end, it's bringing us closer to.
Fuck the international community. I don't give a shit what the international community thinks. That's the same reason I don't give a fuck what the international court says. Why do I have to give a fuck? They're divided? Good. Go to fucking divide yourself. Divide yourself. Unite yourself. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't fuck with me or my people. Because if not, you're going to see that our threats aren't threats. They're facts.
More and more conflict, because if we don't have the law, what do we have?
You don't have the law. You don't fucking have the law. I want to find a clip about international law. This is not on the list. This is something I saw myself. Oh my God, it's such a good clip. I'm going to try to find it for you guys. I think this is the one. I think this is the one.
No, I just don't think we have such a.
Okay. Now I want you to look at this guy. Right now we're going into like that one pissed me off. The first one I liked. The second one pissed me off. Now let's go into the third one. I think you guys are gonna like this third one. Now this is a person that interviewed Armin. This is an excellent person. Let me drop the link to this person. Put it here. This dude's name is Javi. Now Javi did a great interview with Armin, right? And he's gonna break down some shit right here. Right? And he's gonna break down some shit right here. And we're gonna take a look at it, right? We're gonna see what he says about this.
I'm a big believer in international law. Some of you may know. I just don't think we have such a thing yet. We should have it. Humanity needs it. Law says to you, I will protect you. And because I will protect you, you have to obey me. There's a quid pro quo with a legal system. International law is just sort of what's commonly done and what's expected by people who are what? Who's the constituency that elects the legislator of it?
That you see the problem here? Who elects the legislator of international law?
International law. It's states signing treaties. And international law advocates ignore everything that doesn't fit. So, for example, the ICC, right, the Rome Statute that founded the International Criminal Court, well, there's a lot of countries that never signed it.
Very important. Very important. Oh, we have to obey international law. Okay, so who didn't sign it? You right? Who didn't sign it?
Of countries that never signed it. America, Russia, China, India. That's a lot.
Oh, so what the fuck does international law matter? If Russia, China, India, and the USA never fucking signed it, that means you can go fuck yourself with your fucking piece of shit court.
I mean, I saw this one analysis. 80% of the armies actually engaged in conflict in this world aren't members of the ICC.
80% of the armies, they don't obey the international law of the ICC court. So what are they trying to do here?
See, anyone who thinks that they might have to fight a war doesn't join the ICC.
Exactly. The ICC isn't there for the people who fight the wars. The people who don't fight the wars want to make rules for the people who do.
Incidentally, the Arabs scream and shout about international law and Israeli violations of international law. There's exactly one Arab country that ever joined the ICC, and that's Tunisia.
Oh, let me see. Oh, okay. So when Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, United Arab Emirates, when any of these fucking countries start crying about international law in Israel, they didn't sign up for the fucking court. Well, isn't that funny? Isn't that hilarious? So why do you guys care much? If you guys care so much for the ICC, why didn't you fucking sign up for it? Why? Turkey wants to be really angry at Israel because they're not following the ICC. So why didn't you sign up for it? Is Russia going to be very concerned about how the ICC condemns Netanyahu? Are they going to fucking sign up for it? Oh, I see. So you motherfuckers want everybody to obey a thing you didn't sign up for. Isn't that fucking funny? I love this Haviv guy. You guys got to see his interview with Armin.
So no Arab country believes in the ICC unless they have to talk about Israel. It's
that's how convenient. How fucking convenient. Tunisia is the only one that signed up. No other Arab country signed up for it. But we gotta obey it when they talk about Netanyahu. That's why the 12 senators said fuck you. That's why.
similar with the question of mass migration, for example, taking in Syrian refugees in the Syrian civil war. Germany took in 1 million. Why did none go to Saudi Arabia? Why did none go to Qatar? And the simple answer is Germany is a member of the Refugee Convention. All the Arab countries that demanded respect for mass immigration in Western countries, none of them are signed on the Refugee Convention.
Isn't that fucking funny? Isn't that fucking funny when they hold us to standards that they themselves don't have? Isn't that fucking hilarious? Isn't that fucking hilarious?
They don't actually believe in it. My point is that everybody still pretends like Qatar obey international law, like Saudi obey international law. They don't even pretend to.
Yeah. They don't even pretend to. They never signed it. None of it. That's why when people talk to you about international law, you should tell them to go fuck themselves. That is the correct answer. Yeah, no, but what about international law? Fuck you. Who signed? Who signed the international law? Give me the list. Tell me the country that's bitching about it and tell me if they fucking signed. I bet they didn't.
So international law can't enforce itself. It's just politics masquerading as law. Israel is dragged before the ICC because the state of Palestine joined the ICC. Mazel tov. 2 Arab countries out of 23.
Well, I wouldn't call it a country. Javier, I wouldn't call it a country. Palestine is a squatter nation. Okay, here's a representative states, parties meet. What states? That's the fucking problem. No states. What state? Yeah. Okay, so what we have here is Grant is saying representative of state parties meet and provide management oversight for the court, including electing judges and prosecutors and approving the budget. What states? So the states that signed. Okay. So why do the states that signed get to tell the states that didn't sign what to do? Let me explain. They fucking can't. That's why Russia, China, like, okay, I want to make it clear, right? We're not angry at Grant for explaining how they structured. We thank him, right? Thank you, Grant. All right, but yeah, however they are, they can organize. Like, you could have your little club, and your little club can declare anything they want, as long as that little club thinks that they can rule over other people. Then that's a problem, because you're giving yourself power that you don't have to attack people in ways that you can't do. Yeah. Thank you, Grant. Appreciate you. So that's the kind of situation here. And I want to thank you guys for coming, because the time slot that usually Liberty Politics and all the other channels go is much earlier. It's much for another side of the earth, and I'm trying to start a side, a time zone. Start getting people in this time zone. So that here, my goal here is to get people on Liberty Politics and on the network at all times, so we could go 24/7. We're just starting here. We want to keep that going up. I don't want to talk about numbers, but I want to talk about getting you guys to be on the channels all the time, so that we have something on for everyone at any time. And thank you guys for being here. All right, back to Javi.
3 have now joined the ICC, but the state of Palestine too. So international law can't enforce itself. It's just politics masquerading as law. Israel is dragged before the ICC because the state of Palestine joined the ICC. Mazel tov. 2 Arab countries out of
I wouldn't call it a country, but 2 out of 23. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Oh my God, they're so full of shit that if they sat on a stool, they would be redundant. Just shit on shit. Just shit on the shit. Sit that shit on a stool and it's redundant. They're so full of shit. 22 out of 23. And I would say that out of those 2, 1 isn't a real country.
23 have now joined the ICC, but the state of Palestine, nobody has the borders up. International law didn't save the Muslims of Bosnia. Bill Clinton saved the Muslims of Bosnia by ordering a bombing of Belgrade. Everybody was waiting around for international law to assert itself while 1 million Tutsis were killed. Nobody saved them.
This is the problem with this international court, because what is you're going to there to stop a genocide with what? A strongly worded letter, bitch? What the fuck is your international court going to do about anything? Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to do that. I understand that. I'm not going to do that. Like, the whole point of my existence is to show people that if you, Ellie, don't want to show your face, and that's why you have an E over your avatar instead of your face, that's your right. And we're going to hear you, and we're going to hear your comment. And let's say you work in a place where you don't want to expose yourself, or you have family and you don't want to put them through the shit that they would have to go through for you having an opinion. We're going to respect that. And I am here to be your avatar and saying, you know what? I don't need you to dox yourself for me. Just speak your mind, and the facts of your word are going to weigh more than how you look. I made myself extremely humble, a monkey, a fucking monkey. How can I say that I'm above you, that I'm smarter, I didn't make myself a fucking king. I didn't give myself a crown. I made myself a monkey. So just so you know, I'm not going to show myself, and you don't have to do it either. All right, back to the video.
Right now in Iran, there was just a resolution at the UN Human Rights Council to launch a fact-finding mission. South Africa abstained. 30,000.
Look at that. Let's go over that again. Like, when it comes to international law, these people don't do shit. They don't do shit. They have their pronouncements. They send strongly worded letter. They're trying to get Interpol to work with them, but they can't actually do shit.
During a bombing of Belgrade, everybody was waiting around for international law to assert itself while 1 million Tutsis were killed. Nobody saved them. Right now in Iran, there was just a resolution at the UN Human Rights Council to launch a fact-finding mission. South Africa abstained.
You see that? Why does South Africa want to abstain from a fact-finding mission into who is killing who? I wonder why South Africa abstained.
30,000 potentially dead in Iran. South Africa abstains from a fact-finding mission at the Human Rights Council. I thought South Africa is the great arbiter of whether there's a genocide in Gaza and whether the Jews are legitimate or illegitimate
Funny that.
in the land of Israel. The whole thing is fake. The part of the world that is democratic, maybe 30-40% of humanity lives in democracies, is a function of American power after World War II. It's a function of the American example. The Americans invented modern democracy. It's not a function of anything else. It's a function of democracies asserting themselves on the world stage. It's not a function of everyone pretending there are a set of rules that there never were. So only the good guys are limited by them, and the Chinese are never limited by them, or the Iranians or the Russians or anybody else. I'm a big
I love that. Oh my God, that fucking video is so good. Like I already gave you the link to Ask Habib. This is the link to this particular short. I think it's good for you guys to have this. So if any piece of shit tries to talk to you about international law, you pop this sucker in and say, "Hey, take a look at this, bitch." Like you could use better language than I do. You could be nicer. You don't have to be a monkey about it. You know, a lowly monkey. But you could do that, but right, there are tools that you have, and you can no, I mean, I'm putting the link in here for you because I'm not trying to be a replacement for Haviv. I want you to go to Haviv and see his interview with Armin. He did a wonderful interview with Armin. This is a wonderful clip that you can use. You guys should have it in your repertoire. You know, I'm getting all French on you. Have it in your repertoire, mon ami, because I think it's a wonderful clip and it's a good video. So right now we're on our third video. I'm gonna give that a like. I'm gonna give that definitely a like. And let's see what else we got in store. Cause a homie, I got a homie that's sending me links to react to, and I do want to do that. All right. See what we got here. Oh my God, I think I know who this guy is. You guys know this guy?
Yeah, is it true that you?
I think this guy's name is Mehdi Hassan. You guys know this guy? I don't know if you guys know this guy. I think that's his name. Let's see what it says here. ICC prosecutor Karim Khan, Senator Graham told me this court is for Africa and thugs like Putin, not for democracies like Israel and the US. Well, you know what? I mean, 23 Arab nations, if you count Palestine, which has no real borders, right? So let's say 22 Arab nations, right? Which ones are apartheid? Oh, all of them. Is Israel an apartheid? No. Muslims can own land. They can be represented in government. They sit in positions high in government. So that's not an apartheid. Oh, but the other 22 are apartheids. Funny that. They have pushed people out because of their faith and their race. You know, if they are of the Jewish race or religion, they do get kicked out. Funny that. So when Senator Graham says the court is for Africa and thugs like Putin, not for democracies, I guess they're talking about every Islamic nation being an apartheid, because they fucking are. But let's see what this bitch has to say. Let's see what's going on here.
For Africa and thugs like Putin. Is it true that US Senator Lindsey Graham said to you on a conference?
What is going on here? Okay, here we go.
Is it true that US Senator Lindsey Graham said to you on a conference call on May the 1st, 2024, quote, this court, the ICC, is for Africans? Yeah, in fact, he went further. He said this court is for Africa and thugs like Putin. It is not for democracies like Israel and the United States of America.
Funny that. So he's talking about autocracies.
What did you say?
Okay, we got some information out here. Sometimes people within our audience get to see more of the landscape than we do. And Shauna, let me put on a smile for Shauna, because I love Shauna. She's my homie across the way, sister out in in the heartland. He says retarded stuff all the time and makes rounds across right-wing media because of his retarded. Okay.
I listened to what he and some other distinguished members of the United States Senate had to say. In fact, he went further. I listened to what he and some other distinguished members of the United States Senate had to say, and we were guided by the law in terms of what we had to do.
By the ambiguous law that doesn't correctly define what a genocide is. So you don't know if you can apply it to Gaza or South Africa. Funny that.
Because all of that came in terms of the context of him hearing that we may be imminently applying for warrants.
Oh, fuck around and find out. I think he did fuck around, and I think he did find out. All right, that one wasn't very long.
Is it true that U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham said to you on a...
I'm gonna see if I can find a longer reaction. I don't know if I can count that. I'm gonna try to find a longer clip into what's going on here. I have a place around here. See if I can find a longer clip. Okay. I'm going to go with this one. Yeah, this one's a little longer.
I'm going to read you some heavy criticism that you received from the United States. As we know, the United States is not a party to the ICC, nor is Israel. Recently, when word came out that this may be happening at some point, U.S. senators and U.S. congresspeople, mostly Republicans, wrote you a letter signed
Mostly Republicans, right? Like, you see how she's coloring that?
by Senator Tom Cotton, Mitch McConnell, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, and others. This is the quote.
Marcus,
Target Israel and we will target you. If you move forward with the measures indicated in the report, we will move to end all American support for the ICC, sanction your employees and associates, and bar you and your families from the United States. You have been warned. Is that a threat?
Is that an evil eye necklace? What the hell?
I think that's the plain meaning of it in English. But, you know, there's hotheads everywhere, and there's people that are mature.
Oh, hotheads. Oh, I see. It's hotheads. Right. Trying to sanction over ambiguously termed crimes isn't being a hothead. Trying to, file for arrest because, like, as I understand, it's a criminal court. So they're trying to arrest you and put you in jail, right? That's not being a hothead. Right. The warning is being, okay, you're going to find out.
Statesmen and stateswomen and leaders. There are those that have fidelity to something greater than themselves, whether it's their constitutions, but ultimately it's the rule of law. Of course, this situation.
We are not ruled by your laws. This is the overreach. This is overreach. This is them reaching for a budget. I would call this them reaching for a budget. That's what I would call it. I think they're not getting enough money because not enough people signed up. The ones who did sign up probably aren't paying, right? Because China didn't sign, Russia didn't sign, America didn't sign, India didn't sign, Israel didn't sign. 21 Arab nations didn't sign. So who's left? They're not getting that money.
Unfortunately, lies on the San Andreas fault of international politics and strategic interest.
No, motherfucker, it doesn't lie on the San Andreas fault because that's in America and we didn't fucking sign. Get your shit off my fault, motherfucker.
And of course, I've had some elected leaders speak to me and be very blunt. This court is built for Africa and for thugs like Putin, was what one senior leader told me. We don't view it like.
Yes, because Africa very much likes to enslave people in the name of Islam, like they're enslaving Christians right now. Africa loves that. That's why it's built for Africa, because Africa was infested by collectivist Marxists that tried to spread their bullshit communism everywhere and has instilled in the people a spirit of envy and lawlessness and entitlement.
Like that. This court is the legacy of Nuremberg. This court is a sad indictment of humanity. This court should be the triumph.
The legacy of Nuremberg. Did this motherfucker win the war? Who won the war that allowed Nuremberg to have their court? Who did it? Who won the war? I mean, we didn't do it alone, but I'm betting those couple of nukes helped.
Of law over power and brute force. Grab what you can, take what you want, do what you will, and we're going to simply be, we're not going to be dissuaded.
Okay, so we're getting some insight here. Nigeria is holding down the fort on capitalism, individual, and Christianity. Look, I do want that to happen, but the problem is they may be surrounded by these. Let me put on a smile for Shauna. Oh my God, I don't want to. Hey, happy monkey. All right. That I have hopes, and I hope that because of that they become able to prosper. It's so in such a way that they have the ability to defend themselves and get good weapons and make good deals with neighbors close and far. But things are tough in Africa. What the hell? Why is it not showing volume? I don't understand why the end of this clip.
We're not going to be dissuaded.
Whatever he said here at the end, Christina
We're going to simply be
edited.
We're not going to be dissuaded.
See, she muted that. This is on her. This is her. This is her. She muted that part. I wonder what it says. Suspicious. Very suspicious. Now, this is an angry clip. I'm going to end with, let me see if I can find a happy clip. I think I do have a happy clip for us. Let me wait. I think let's close this. Thank you for retweeting me. Let me see over here. Okay. Let me see how long this one is. You see, here's the problem. Some of these clips are so short that I can't, it's hard to use them. Let's see what he says here.
I've never been more worried about our people than I am right now. What they're doing against Israel reeks of politics, and the system at the ICC is corrupt at its core. How in the world can you legitimize the work product of somebody you believe needs to be investigated before the investigation's done? How can you proceed against a nation who's willing to talk to you before you hear their side of the story? So I will not let this go. I've never been more worried about.
I'm going to try to find a longer clip because these clips are just very, very short. This one is by someone that says that hates Lindsay, but I think Lindsay is going to say something.
Are going to help the ICC as a nation enforce their arrest warrant against Bibi and Gallant, the former defense minister. I will put, if you are going to help the ICC as a nation enforce their arrest warrant against Bibi and Gallant, the former defense minister.
If you are going to help enforce, okay, this is very clear language.
I will put sanctions on you as a nation. You're going to have to pick the rogue ICC versus America. So to any ally, Canada, Britain, Germany, France, if you try to help the ICC, we're going to sanction you.
Well, that means I want every ally. And you saw little Justin in Canada and his position. What should the penalty be?
We should crush your economy because we're next. Why?
Yes. Oh my God. This is why I love him. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we did about 5 or 6 clips in there. I want you guys to get some rapid fire takes into this thing that's going on with the International Court. That's kind of the news of the day. I want to make sure I cover it. I want to make sure I give you an American perspective on this. Now we're going into more of a long form reaction, right? Now we're going to settle in and we're going to watch. This is someone that I agree with, right? We're going to react to his take on this. He's going to be looking into a recent event that happened in America, and this is related to immigration, right? Now, this is not someone I disagree with. Sometimes I put on people that I disagree with, like I just did. And sometimes I'm going to react to people that I do agree with, right? Because I like the way they do things. This is the Hermit King, also known as Asmongold. We're going to see what he has to say about, and you know what, this garbage that this guy is saying here, I don't agree with this. Yeah, I agree with this. To any ally, Canada, Britain, France, Germany, we're gonna fuck you in the ass if you fuck around and have anything to do with these international court bullshit. All right. Now, as you guys know, I've always wanted to be like the great Nuxanor, a great guy. He's kind of emulating this thing where you can speak your mind and you can have an outlook on give your perspective on events and not have to put yourself out there. Like you guys in the chat, you guys can be whatever. You can be a monkey, you can be a little frog, you can just have a letter there. I don't care. It's your problem. I want to hear from you anyway. I don't care who you are. I want to hear your voice, right? As long as you're respectful, within we can disagree, and we can talk about anything. I I appreciate that you guys are here with me. I want to do my best to build up this time zone, so that liberty politics can have reach within this time zone and this sphere, because most of it is like around Europe and Iran time and different time zones. All right, let's start this. First of all, let's put the link in here to the Hermit King, Asmongold.
It's crazy how these people end up always getting themselves shot. It's so easy not to get shot. Witnesses saw.
This is a good point. It is very easy to not get shot. Grant says this is probably on our last topic. Thank you. I was wondering what the teeth were behind the rhetoric and the political grandstanding with our last topic. This was about the International Court. We're about to go into a different topic, but yeah, that is basically everything that was about it, that was going on with it. I think the Ask Haviv short helps a lot in understanding what the International Court is and what it isn't. And you know what? I respect him for that.
Two ICE agents approach.
Now we're starting with this video. This is about a shooting that just happened in the United States. There's a bit of lawlessness that
the man shot.
We're having by the permissiveness and lack of calls for self-control from the left, because of the rhetoric they use against the right, like the dehumanizing way that they talk about the officers, the dehumanizing way they talk about people that hold the position that countries should have borders. They care a lot about the wall in Israel, but they don't care about the wall in Egypt, right? Gaza has a wall with Egypt. Why aren't you never angry at Egypt for not opening the door and letting them in and helping them or giving them anything? Why don't you ever talk about that? Because they're a bunch of hypocrites. And that kind of hypocrisy also happens within our sphere from these people, and we're going to discuss it.
Shot by ICE has been identified as the man shot by ICE has been identified as a 26-year-old from Colombia. He was reportedly authorized to work in the U.S. and be issued a social security number. Is this? I heard about this. This is another person who, again, it's crazy how these people end up always getting themselves shot. It's so easy not to get shot. Witnesses saw 2 ICE agents approach a white sedan during an immigration operation, order the driver out and draw weapons. The car lurched forward towards one agent who shot at what officials call self-defense.
Yeah, okay. Everyone knows that a car is a lethal weapon. A hammer is a lethal weapon. A bat is a lethal weapon. Depends on how you use it. And if you use your car to, lurch, try to hit an agent, you're going to have a problem.
Killing a 26-year-old Colombian man with work authorization. Good. Finally, they're shooting him. Try and drive your car at a police officer, they should shoot you in the fucking head. That's what I think.
Look, I can't disagree. Like he said it on YouTube, and I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say I don't disagree. Like if you use a vehicle in a way that can lead to permanent bodily harm or death, people like police officers do have a right to defend themselves with the most effective force, which is usually deadly force, right? Because you don't want them to be injured and trying to drive. You don't want that car to keep going. You want to end the situation as fast as possible, and that usually does it.
That's where I'm at. Get them out of here. Vehicle's a weapon? That's right.
A vehicle is a weapon. I'm just saying this.
That's right, bro. Like you deport them all. Exactly. It's now been 2 days, so Trump notified Congress. Conflicts resumed. Oh boy. And I saw that the car lurched forward. Did it by itself. And was this your?
Yeah, you're still responsible for the car, right? That's the difference between manslaughter and murder. If you accidentally hit somebody, but you were being negligent and you're not in control of your car, that's manslaughter. Like sometimes it's an accident, but in this situation, but there's a protest, you're kind of like being defensive, you're being given orders, you're ignoring it. Well, you know what? That's at least manslaughter.
One nut for each measure. Yeah, don't you mean Renee Good? Well, that was another one that got popped off for the same thing. And local police secured the scene while FBI and Maine attorney protests followed, and advocates grieve the loss of politics.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something that they're gonna talk about later. Usually, what happens in these yeah, we're getting the stupid is stupid does. That's the Forrest Gump quote. And you know what? I do feel sorry for officers that the left has gone so insane with their rhetoric. There's something that's going to happen, and I'm going to tell you it's going to happen, and it doesn't mean anything. There's going to be an investigation. They're going to put these people on leave during the investigation. That's normal. That always happens, right? That's not because it's an immigrant case. It is normal because we hold ourselves accountable. You would be worried if officers could just, every time there's a shooting, there's no investigation. The officers can just keep going willy-nilly and nothing happens. No. It's normal. This is absolutely normal. So that, it's even good for the officer. Like, you just killed somebody, take a day off, go ahead. Like, that's fine. Maybe you need to talk to somebody, because a lot of these people, they're here to help humanity. They're not here to specifically for that. Like soldiers, that's why you don't want soldiers to do police work, because they train us to kill. Right? Well, they trained me to fix tanks. Like, I wasn't out there in combat, right? Like that's not what I did. I was a grease monkey. That's why I don't portray myself as a badass infantryman. I know how to do all that shit, but I was a grease monkey. So I portrayed myself as a monkey because I don't believe I'm above any human. In fact, I'm lower myself down to a more humble state. I'm a grease monkey. Kill the tank. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, there's going to be an investigation. They're going to put these people on leave, and these people are human. So they're not like, they know that they have to maybe take that ultimate decision, but it's not always easy, and it's good for them to have some time off, talk about it, and let the investigation flow.
Politicians voiced alarm. You know what I think they need to do? I saw this. So they're crashing out over this.
17 minutes past the hour right now. Anti-ICE protests outside the office of Senator Susan Collins after a deadly shooting in Maine involving an ICE agent.
Yep.
This is Bedford, where the shooting happened, about 25 minutes south of Portland. Our correspondent Alexis McAdams is reporting live here in New York City. She's got the latest details on what is happening there. Alexis?
Hey, Sandra. So as you can see here,
a bunch of white women.
Yep. Look at what's going on.
That's also true. women tend to have more empathy. It's usually misplaced, especially if they don't have kids. And especially white women carry white guilt, so they get stuck in this bullshit. And I don't mean to be a misogynist or a racist, but I can be an observer, and that's what I've observed.
In Maine, we know federal agents are trying to piece together everything that happened as witnesses tell local media that ICE agents surrounded a car and repeatedly ordered the driver to get out. Then seconds later, we're told they heard gunshots, and it was also captured on surveillance video. Listen to this.
Yep. Doesn't look like protests. They're trying to get inside the building. The cats are like, damn, you see that? What the fuck?
Blocked off in Biddeford, Maine, if we want to pull that video up.
Oh my God.
Shooting earlier this morning. We are told.
Okay, side comment, cute cats.
That the FBI
and
Maine
stress the
State
cat
Police
out.
are working the case right now, and the feds have not yet said who was killed.
Yeah, and anti-ICE protest outside. Yeah, this is the same one. They're crashing out, getting upset over this. Maine resident.
How do they have so many people out so fast? Like this was 8 a.m., right? And this is like maybe by midday, they already have people out. This is because they have organizers. People like the people in Code Pink. They like to have local chapters everywhere. And usually those local chapters are based around colleges, and they get outside funding from NGOs. Those organizers tend to also have a part-time job at an NGO as some kind of office somebody. This is how it goes, right? They have a job as an office somebody, and oh, take the day off, go organize something, and that's what they're really being paid for, right? I've seen Tim Pool talk about this because he's been around since the Occupy Wall Street era, and he saw the left try to take over any organic movement, and he knows how these organizers operate. Another people that would know like the more aggressive side of this is Andy No. He's a bit of an expert on Antifa, and I would go to him for anything to do with that. And the reason these things get organized so fast is because these people are being paid by NGOs, and they know what they're doing.
Are marching on ICE. America's sick and tired of the murderous, tyrannical U.S. government over Trump. I mean, these people really have nothing better to do.
Ed Krasenstein is a piece of shit.
I don't know if this is a new one today or not. I have no idea. These people love to go out and protest. If only they liked to vote, maybe they would have got what they wanted. So anyway, we got one more of these.
This officer behind me, we're on Hill Street.
You know why sometimes you see a lot of these people appear in a city and you're like, wait, this is a red city. Why are all these people protesting? Oh, they got bussed in from somewhere else. I'm not saying that's the case there. That was kind of fast. That might be local people, maybe from. Okay, so here's the thing. What if you get paid to protest and that's your job? What if you get $100 to do that shit all day, or 200? That kind of thing happens.
The officer is standing at the intersection with Bacon Street, turning cars away from the next street up, which is Pool Street, and we know that's closed.
I do think they need to look into the flash mobs that these people organize and how they do it.
He's noticing that that's too fucking fast. Like, I haven't seen this, right? Because lately I've been like usually like I'm doing the liberty politics thing about 8 hours a day. Like I do 2 hours here, I do about 3 or 4 hours in the morning, and then 2 hours for the discussion group. So that takes about 8 hours. I used to watch his show daily live, but I can't anymore. But I knew like I didn't know he was gonna go there, but I kind of knew because he has been noticing that this shit, it just pops off out of nowhere, and it's so fun. It is funny. The flash mob, that's a good name for it. To have a flash mob, everyone knows a flash mob is something you organize.
I don't know whether there's something that's wrong that's happening, but here's one thing that's very odd to me. How is it that these people are able to organize a flash mob this quickly for any event that happens? But, you know, again, like these people lost there's Republicans control all three of the branches of government, right? And when Biden was president, it's not like you had Republicans and people like this going out there protesting like crazy either. So why is it that these people are able to mobilize so quickly and so efficiently? I think that there could be a nefarious reason for that. I don't know if that's true. Maybe they just have nothing better to do. But ultimately, I think that it does need to be looked into. It absolutely needs to be looked into, because how they do it, they just need to jail the mob. I don't think that this is.
Let me show you how. You see this? Let me see if I can make this image a little wider. I don't think I can I? There we go. Now, I want you to notice that in FARA lobbying, China has 475 million, right? But when you look at the NGO and university and think tank funding, that's anywhere between $2 and $6 billion, like that's 6.5. So that's a Confucius universities, like that's a whole lot of funding. Okay, so if you look at the NGO, they do have a lot of funding from Qatar. If you look at the lobbies, Qatar has 256 million. But if you look over at the column that says NGO, university, think tank funding, okay, let's look at Qatar. 4.7 to $6 billion, right? That's a lot of money to put in a university. You start adding this up, add all this up, right? Even if you lowball the estimate, let's say this is 5, and let's say this is 3. All right, that's already 8, right? So let's say you add 4 here, or let's say 3. Just for the fuck of it, that's already $11 billion if you add Saudi Arabia. UAE, let's just add 1. Let's put it at 12 billion. Let's say this is overestimated. That's still billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. That is a problem. That is a problem. Okay, here I am. You understand what I'm saying? So I do understand when people say, oh, it's George Soros, it's Code Pink, it's Neville Singham. No. Those 12 billion come from a lot of places, and those places need to be investigated. My strongest point against Trump is the weakness of the DOJ, the weakness of the FBI. You have to treat these NGOs like you used to treat the fucking mafia.
Again, these people aren't doing anything wrong. They're just walking around protesting. I don't think that any of these people need to be put in jail yet. So, yeah, I mean, maybe there's massive protests happening.
So the thing is, if those guys are paid, and it is known that some of them are going to break stuff, and they get continually played after they get arrested and they get released from jail, that's where you have a more defined problem. That's when you go after them as a more organized crime, because you're paying them. They commit crimes. When they commit crimes, you defend them and you help them do the crime again. That's when you have a better case.
Here, businesses complain about their workers coming in, jobless, woke losers. I guess so. Too coordinated to be a radicalized rando? Well, yeah, it's clearly organized and it should be 100% dismantled. Well, I don't know how it's being organized and who's doing the organizing, but if I had to guess, I bet it is subversive non-American forces that are doing this. And I think
that's what I showed. Like, here's the thing. Yes, RICO is a great option. Here is the thing. One thing I admire about Asmongold, that he's not asking Grok things because he doesn't know. He's asking Grok things when I think this is what happened. Grok, tell me if I'm wrong, and Grok usually says, no, you're right, and here's why. He goes off the gut. He goes off of common sense, right? So what is common sense telling them? These are anti-American outside forces funding this unrest.
We need to push back against it, right? The light's literally green now. Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, they should arrest them. Yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, this is the light is green. You're not supposed to be in the middle of the street. Okay, the light's green. Okay, so that's already an organized. You're not allowed to stop traffic. When you stop traffic there, what are you doing? What are you doing? Does anybody know the legality of that? You're basically forcing a person to stay there. If you surround a car, that's an illegal detainment. You can't illegally detain someone in their car because you start surrounding it with people. The light is literally green. Okay, so arrest them.
And you can't dismantle an organization. You absolutely can dismantle an organization. You can do it super easily. What do you mean? So, yeah, I mean, of course. And Nate Friedman knows, pretty much his whole YouTube channel on DSA. It's organized by organs of the DNC. That's why they're defended legally, I guess, right? But anyway, so this is it. Yeah, I personally, like, I think that ICE, like, if you try to drive your car, this is what happens when you try to run over cops, exactly. If you drive your car at a police officer, I think the police officer should be able to shoot you. It's just that simple. I think that, I honestly, if you want me to be real, I think police should shoot way more people. I do. I think that it's just like, whenever you have these people that are violent and dangerous, I think the police should treat them like they're violent and dangerous.
Hey, you know what? YouTube allowed it on his channel. He must be saying things that are correct, or at least legal to say, because the police should be able to shoot violent people that are trying to kill them. Crazy thought. Crazy thought. If you try to kill a cop, you might end up dead.
And just shoot them. I don't want to have our law officers get shot and hurt. And I don't think that they should have to do it, right? But like, if you feel like your life is in danger and these people are doing this, then yeah, you absolutely should. What the fuck's wrong with you? Well, like, I'm talking about people that are violent, for example, right? I mean, so like, let me go back. I'll pull this up. So like, what do you like?
This is another thing he does. He likes to argue. I have very little patience for this, but I admire him for doing this. This is a quality that Armin also has. Like, he has the ability and the patience to argue with retards, right? It sounds logical, Monkey. Thank you. Thank you, Yalestra. And Elog. Hey, guys, I'm safe. No worries. Did not try to run anyone over. Oh, hey, that's great safety. When you don't try to run anybody over, like Elog did, you don't have any problems. I recommend everybody follow that advice.
Do you think that you should be able to hit a police officer or punch a police officer? Didn't they sponsor 9/11? What is this here? It gives a shit if they selectively do sponsors. I do, because I think it's annoying. So what is this here? Yeah, how does this work? Yeah, I mean, do you think you should be able to like hit a police officer or like drive a car into a police officer? How does this work? I want to understand.
A lot of the times when you put these retards,
like, what is this?
A lot of the times when you put these retards on the spot, they're not gonna react. They're not gonna say anything. They just shut up. They clam up.
How did 11-9? I mean, guys, you know, like, definitely a European, right? What do you expect? 11-9. You know, it's. What is this? I'll give it a minute. Didn't they sponsor 9/11? They did, by the way. And they didn't actually, Osama bin Laden was kicked out of Saudi Arabia too. And like, I mean, again, like they have like extremism. Yeah, of course they do. Like a lot of places do. It's not that uncommon. But we'll wait and see this. We'll
This must have been about a previous segment.
See if there's a single response at all that makes sense for this in any capacity. Not thinking at all. Yeah, and this is the problem that these people have, is that I think that they'll say something like this and they'll make these like, you know, oh my God, this is a very common, pattern that these people engage in, is that they basically just kind of appeal to the consensus and they say like, wow, you're acting really weird. You shouldn't be acting weird. And they never actually explain it. It's kind of like
Look, some people say weird is unique, right? You know, some very intelligent people say, you know, weird is just unique. So, you know, be weird, Yasmin.
Passive forcefulness of the consensus, right? That's what these people like doing. And I'm trying to see if there's any single response. That's crazy. It's insane that you have somebody, right? It's insane somebody would go around and we have, why aren't you LGBT ally? I mean, you're losing against fat Uber women. Yeah, again, this is just somebody that was talking shit the whole time. All you did, and this is a single one, you can't explain anything that you think. You can't explain what you're saying.
Yeah, if people don't engage him the right way, like he just like, okay, you're not going to explain yourself. You're going to sit here and talk shit, insult me, call me things. Fuck off then.
And the reason why is because you know I'm right. You know I'm right about this. Obviously, you shouldn't be able to run over a police officer. So, use rage baiting guaranteed. Well, it worked because now you're banned. So, anyway, Can't answer a simple question. Yeah, I totally agree with the rest of this, right? So I was 25 years ago, I have zero in common with today. I mean, again, like I mean, how long is that going to happen? We've had wars with a lot of places. Look at Japan. So like, if it's not what's happened, it's what's happening, right? It's typical for LGBTQ dudes. I don't know about him being gay. I have no idea. So new footage seems to show an agent shooting from the side from the departed's vehicle.
Okay. Did you see what that guy is doing? Wait. That guy inserted himself into that situation.
Idea.
You see how he crosses over into here.
So new footage seems to show an agent shooting from the side from the departed's vehicle. Is that the guy? Is that the car?
They're telling him to stop. He's not stopping.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't show the bullet. It doesn't show the gunshot, so it's hard to say.
They say footage say he's shooting from the side. Let's see if that's true.
Okay, here we do every moment, every day. Yeah, I guess so, right? And at this moment, it's natural selection.
I think that's
totally agree. I do. Life hack.
I think that video, like the person might have been seeing wrong or purposefully not telling the truth, because I thought I saw a picture of this, and the picture seemed to show that the bullet holes went in the front shield. So I don't know what he's talking about. What this person making this video, Nathan, whatever, is talking
Don't
about.
try to run over agents and you won't get shot. Follow me for more tips. There it is. And I think it's really funny that like a lot of these people are just, abolish ICE. Oh God. We just got the, is this another guy?
Hey everyone. We just got the sad news that it looks like there's been yet another deadly shooting and ICE was involved. This time it was right in our backyard in Biddeford. My heart is with the people of Biddeford, the people of Maine. They need answers. We all need answers.
Mm-hmm.
We deserve to know what happened here. So we're going to go down to be with the community in Biddeford at Mechanics Park at noon.
Yeah.
If you're able to, please join us. Hey, everyone.
Right.
Yeah, he's calling for a protest. That's basically what he's doing.
And so the problem that these people have is that they, God, these people are so fucking obnoxious. This is the reason.
Okay. When I was 17, I was racing, got in an accident. The only thing that saved me, you weren't on drugs or alcohol. Yes, that does help. The crash killed 2 people and turned into a fight. And I got a really good lawyer. No, I mean, there is things that are accidents. There are things that where you have a little bit of a negligence, I would say. Like, I would say don't street race. But I remember being that age. So, I think that would stop it. I'm almost gonna bet you don't do that anymore. But these things do happen. But what I'm seeing here is like a very willful resistance of the law, not an unintended consequence, right? It's not the same thing to have the ill intent of trying to hit someone. This is why they see it very differently. Like when you get manslaughter because you were, let's say you're in a hit and run, you hit somebody with your car, right? And you hit somebody, but you were running away from the cops. That's a very different charge than you just hit someone on the road and then you try to stop and render aid. Maybe you missed a stop sign or something, but it's very different from running away from the police because you are already committing a crime when you committed another crime, right? It's not the same thing that as a civil infraction. You were in the middle of a civil infraction, like you don't go to jail for speeding. You go to jail for like running away from the police, right? For speeding, you usually get a ticket. You got to be really outrageously up there to go to jail for speeding. And usually what sends you to jail is not the speeding, it's the running away from the cops. So they see it differently. Like, let's say you're going to rob a store. You weren't planning on shooting anybody, but someone reaches under the counter and you shoot, and it wasn't your intention to shoot. So you don't get that premeditated murder 1, but you're still going to get murder 2, right? Because you weren't planning for it. This wasn't your plan, but you did something and you that committed like great bodily harm. So that's kind of the difference. Oh yeah, I've been stopped. I've been stopped. I never run. I always stop.
Reason why I support completely oppressing them. They are so annoying, and they also, like, keep in mind, none of these people ever tell their constituents.
You know what? I remember one time, like there was a track. They were stopping all cars, right? And I turned into the place where they were stopping all cars, and I didn't have my seatbelt on. So I signaled to the cop, "Hey, should I park over there?" And he says yes, and I park. And he asked me, why did you park?" And I said, "Well, I didn't have my seatbelt on." And he said, "Why didn't you try to put it on?" Well, I noticed when I saw you, you clearly saw that I didn't have it on. I'm not going to try to, insult your intelligence by putting it in at the last second. So I was like, wow, I committed a mistake. I should have put it on when I left home. I didn't, and you're probably going to give me a ticket for this mistake. So I stopped. And he said, "Okay, put it on. Just go on your way, but don't do that again." I was like, you know what? I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Clicked it on and fucking got out of there. Sometimes they just appreciate you not trying to act like you're gonna get one over on them. They appreciate that shit too.
Or their voters to obey the law, to comply with the police, to not break the law, and to, exit your vehicle when told, and to follow lawful commands by police officers.
Can you imagine if the Democrats say, "You know what? We don't agree with the people, the way that these immigrants are being treated. We don't agree with, the rejection of the asylum claim. But of course, don't fight police. Don't get in the way of police. We're going to battle this out in the ballot. We're going to battle this out in the courts." Can you imagine if the Democrats did that? It used to be like that.
They never say to do that. They never do that. And the reason why is because there is nothing better for these left-wing freaks than to have another random Colombian get killed.
Yes, this is very true. It's these deaths serve their purpose. They get an upswing. They get to change the topic from whatever losing topic they had. Rishi Hall says, "What a wonderful police officer." I'll tell you what I bet it was. I bet you a whole bunch of people tried to sucker him, do it at the last second, try to argue with him about it. And when I said, "No, you obviously caught me. I didn't notice till the last second," I was so honest that it might have been a fresh breath of fresh air. That could have been it.
The reality is that the best thing for their cause is for more people to die. They want more people to die. Every single time that somebody dies, it gives them another opportunity for them to push their narrative, to start making up more bullshit, to complain about how evil ICE is, and to show, see, they did it again. So keep in mind that the only people who win whenever a person like this is murdered or killed by police is the leftists that are against ICE. Those are the only people that win. It's not beneficial for ICE. Why would ICE want to shoot somebody? It would be a lot easier for ICE if everybody just got out of their car and followed the directions. Then you wouldn't have to file extra police reports. You wouldn't have to deal with maybe getting hurt, and everything would just be a lot easier. So it's not in their best interest to shoot and kill somebody. It's not in the I don't think Republicans, I don't
I'm sorry. I had the microphone muted. That reminds me of a Chris Rock public service announcement. Yes, this is very true. How not to get your ass kicked by the police. Like the problem here is it's very simple. All you got to do is not have your stereo blasting. Don't do drugs in the car. Put your seatbelt on. Very simple things. Don't be drunk and driving. That's a great ways to avoid getting your ass kicked.
Most conservatives and Republicans don't want to have, ICE going around actually.
The problem here is, and what I was going to say is sometimes Democrats try to make us well, I wouldn't fall for it, but they make people believe that ICE doesn't have the full law enforcement capabilities to stop you that a regular officer does. And they kind of suggest it and hint at it and poke at it and point at it that you have ways to resist lawful orders, and that's just not true. And because of that friction and that misunderstanding that people have in their head about what an officer can or can't do, they get themselves killed. They get themselves killed listening to these fucking Democrats that don't explain shit.
Executing people in their cars. Like, we don't actually want to see people do that, right? So, like, Republicans don't want this either. It makes it makes ICE look bad. So the only people that win whenever a person like this is murdered or killed,
yeah, it's someone in the chat saying they had an incident with the cops and they just straight about it, and and the cops helped them out because they was just straight shooters, straight up tell them what happened. And sometimes that's the best route to go. If you got caught, you got caught. Like, hey man, this happened. I made a mistake. It went like this and this and that, and that can help. Like, also good to talk to your lawyer. Some cops ain't like all there, but you got to realize when it is what it is, and it is what it is.
What do you call it? The only people who win are the leftist people.
No, okay. So we have all minor things. I love having my stereo loud. Okay, this is not the thing. If the cop stops you, when the cop is at the window talking to you, do you have the stereo blasting? Because some people do that shit. It's very annoying. The cop has to tell them, hey, shut that down. That's so annoying that you're gonna piss the cop off.
That are trying to use these dead bodies as a shield for illegal migrants, right? Martyr baiters, yeah, they're trying to bait more martyrs. And that's the reason why they never tell them to comply with the police or to do what they're told. It's because they want more martyrs. They think that if they have enough martyrs, that they will win more public support.
Of course,
and they will be seen in a more sympathetic way. This is the reason why, in my opinion, if you want more martyrs, I think they should give it to them. I do. The moment that you throw a rock at a police officer, the moment you try to drive a car at a police officer, I think they should shoot you. I do. I don't know why we're putting up with this for even 1 second. And you just described Hamas. Well, yeah.
You just described Hamas. Okay.
And I think that that's an interesting comparison, isn't it? Like, you're comparing them to a terrorist group, and martyrdom is a sacrifice they're willing they're willing to have others make. Exactly. I think that's true.
That's true. The politicians, when they tell you, oh, you don't have to stop. They're not real law enforcement. You have certain, like, all that shit. They're endangering people. They're causing these martyrs. Like, you have to sometimes listen. I wish you guys would listen to the way these senators and congressmen sometimes talk about how to deal with ICE.
So, yeah, I only watch it on Twitch. I'm being recommended titty streamers. Yeah, that's probably because, well, let's not talk about why. But, I mean, ICE is pretty evil, to be honest. Well, let me go back. I'm going to pull this up. So, where is this person says ICE is evil?
So he's going to argue with a retard now.
Can I find this? I don't know if I can find this person or not. But anyway, I don't think that they are. I don't think ICE is evil at all. I think ICE are patriots, honestly. And I think anybody who is against ICE is a retard. I do. I think that you are a retard. Immigration and borders control are necessary to preserving a nation. They are necessary to maintaining the rule of law. These are laws passed by Congress. These have been on the books for 50 years. This has been the law of the country for your entire life and probably your entire parents' life as well. The idea that a enforcement of those laws that were written into, they were voted on by the popular, the popular vote. They won in a presidential election. I would say the party that represents those values controls all three branches of government. And a majority of people, it seems like, want to have all illegal aliens deported. By all polling, all aliens should be deported, right?
So here's the thing. They hate democracy when it doesn't agree with them, right? Like there was an overwhelming, like Trump won the popular vote and the electoral vote. There was basically a red wave. Like if you look at it per county, oh my God, so many places turned red. And it's just it's the will of the people, but they don't care about the will of the people when the will of the people goes against their narrative and their designs. So that's why he's saying, no, these guys are patriots, they're just doing their jobs, and their job has been very well defined. Let me see over here. Yeah, so we talked, someone in the chat had some interaction with the police, and just kept it honest, kept it real. And the police know the difference between a career criminal and someone that is within is reformable, is someone that made a mistake and probably won't do it again, right? This is something that people that deal with career criminals, they can tell the difference. So if you know right from wrong, you know that these guys aren't evil. These ICE people aren't evil, and most cops aren't evil.
The majority of people think that. So if you think ICE is evil, here's the reality. You can look at any, and this is the problem, right? You can look at any police interaction and you can see babies crying, people getting killed, women getting hurt, and then men, being violently arrested. You can see this with bank robberies. You can see this with shoplifting. You can see this with murder. You can see it with sexual assault cases. You can see it with everything. You're going to have families separated. Like if you go and you steal something from a store, or, you kill somebody, they're going to put you in jail and you're going to be separated from your family. So the idea that ICE is some kind of like some unique evil that's like a problem or anything like
this is another good point. Oh my God, they're separating families. Wait a minute. If you rob a bank, you're going to be separated from your family. We're not going to just let you go robbing banks and say, oh, I guess we got to let him go because we wouldn't want to break up his family, right? If you steal a car, they're not going to, oh, I guess we can't arrest you because we can't separate you from your family. All right, but if you break into the country, you're doing crimes, you got your whole family here, we're not going to separate you. Okay, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just send you all the way together.
Like that. And Asman, if you agree with what they're doing, mobilizing them without proper training and mental evaluation, that's something a solid plan.
So here's a false accusation. There's an assumption that they don't have proper training, and they're creating a straw man to fight. The claim that these people aren't properly trained is a straw man.
So where is the? So this is it was me. Okay, yeah. So it means that they're a chicken egg situation. Were they trying to die, or are they killing because they're not trained? Why do you think that they're not trained?
That's the false assumption.
For example, a lot of the people who were like, I think it was the guy that killed Renee Good, for example, was a officer for 14 years. Like, what do you mean they're not trained?
Exactly. The people that wind up in these situations, they're very well trained.
Like, you think that after 14 years, you're not going to understand what you're doing? Why do you think that they're not trained? What is the indication that they're not trained? They are. It's a leftist narrative. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? And so, like, what's the reasoning here? People are being shot
out of his
they're really
ass.
doing what they're trying to do. Yeah, that's obviously the reason why. I mean, do we have a single, like, I'm waiting for this. Let's find out. Large portion of the cops are also ex-military. Yeah, I mean, I mean,
this is true.
To be honest, I didn't know that. Well, then why would you say it if you don't even know it? Why would you even say it then?
Exactly.
So you're calling.
So yeah, you're just basically making a false accusation based on nothing.
Them evil, based off of something that you don't even like. What? Like that's insane. But you can't say the force size wasn't increased dramatically before the big push. They should increase it more.
Yes. Every time I see ICE, I'm like, they should have triple the amount of people they have there.
If it was up to me, I'd be using the National Guard and the military to remove these people.
Yes, that's what Asman wants. That's what I want. That's why many people say Trump is you're not going to be able to remove as many people as need to be removed to ensure that the ballot isn't cheated out of existence, because these people are pushed into our communities, the Black communities, the Latino communities that voted for Trump. They're getting flooded with illegal immigrants. And like I got cousins in Florida, like brothers, and like I got people everywhere. And everywhere that I look, everyone that I know and friends that I got everywhere, they all tell me the same thing. Bro, they're flooding this place with illegals, and they're not, you know, you don't got to show an ID. They're cheating like a motherfucker.
I'd be doing both of those too. So what's the point? Like, yeah, if you, I don't think.
And we got how long? August, September, October. 3 months to get these people out of here before they can affect an election or to pass the SAVE Act. And passing the SAVE Act, how are you going to be sure that people in those blue districts are going to follow the SAVE Act? What are you going to do? Wait till after the election and prosecute them if they don't? By then, the votes are counted. It's too fucking late. How are you going to get this done before? This is my problem with Trump. He goes too slow and is too soft on local law. This is my problem with Trump.
I think it's enough. Like, we need to be getting 100,000 a week. The specific officer was in the force for 14 years. You cannot be mad at me for being honest about my knowledge. I'm not mad at you for being honest about your knowledge. What I'm mad at you for is the fact that you've drawn a conclusion that the people that are upholding the laws of the country are evil because of a misconception. You were putting forward a conclusion without understanding anything. I'm not mad at you for not understanding. I'm mad at you for drawing a conclusion without understanding.
See, here's the thing. Like, listen, there's someone in the group discussion that does this a lot. Her name is Samantha. She just draws a conclusion out of nowhere and pretend it's a fact, right? It's like when, oh, these people aren't well trained. You just pulled that out of your ass. That's not a fact. And that's what this person is doing. Just pulling statements out of their ass that aren't based on any facts.
Does that make sense? And also, like, you're not going to get banned, by the way. I'm not going to ban you, so you don't have to worry. What do you think is wrong with what they're doing? Like, if you drive a car at a police officer, obviously the police officer should be able to shoot you. I mean, duh, of course. Like, how else could a person like that save their life?
Bro, I think Pam Bondi was sabotage. Fucking sabotage. A whole fucking years of strongly worded letter, and she's leaking shit to fucking Shifty Schumer. Was it Schumer? I can't remember, but she was leaking to somebody. I hate that bitch.
The chatter's logic is half of Twitter. Well, what I'm saying is that there's no logic to it. It's completely fake.
Fake and gay.
That's physical opposite.
Fake news.
Yeah, exactly. Are you in a good mood today? Yeah, I'm all right. Things are good, actually. I'm looking forward. I'm going to play Power World all today, and tonight it's going to be great. I'm excited.
Let's see if we can move this along.
Here's the thing that I would really say about anything else, right? Is that if you're driving in any direction, let me go and I think it's just too much too quick. And the giant push these last few months were not fully thought out and asking for trouble. Why is it not fully thought out?
Another conclusion that they pulled out of her ass. No, we were talking about Pam Bondi being fucking slow and having all these strongly worded letters for a year or two instead of arresting people. Like Pam Bondi. Oh yeah, people really hate Candace. Her too. Like they can't stand you know. Oh, well, you know what? Here's my link. I'm trying to get to maybe 675. I'm probably not going to be able to do that today, but slowly working our way up to 1,000 followers. Starting, I've already doubled the watch hours that I need. What I need to do is make sure that I make a place for myself that you guys can count on coming to. I'm having a little more luck going a little later, so I might be starting at 9 Eastern more often than not instead of 8, so that you guys can settle in. You've already dealt with all you got to do. You got to eat, you got to walk the dog, whatever you got to do at home, deal with the kids, so you can settle in and hear me out from 9 onward. I think that's going to be the path moving forward. I think I'm going to be starting at 9, and I just want to make a place here where you can consistently come over here and talk to me about whatever you want to talk about. We'll watch some videos, react to some good shit, some bad shit, and maybe do some reactions, which was always kind of like the way I wanted to go with this. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Asking for trouble. You keep making assertions, but I want you to understand, what does it mean by it wasn't thought out?
This is the same shit that person I was talking about does all the time, right? They just make some, but this and this and this happened. Like, what do you mean too much, too quick, and giant push were not fully thought out? According to who says they didn't fully think out the way that ICE is doing things? It's a miracle that more people aren't having strongly adverse effects to resisting the police or trying to run them over.
I don't think it's enough, and I don't think it's fast enough either. It would be more, and it would be faster.
So Texas, what Asman is advocating, this guy gets million and more every video he makes. What he's advocating for is that we should have the military come in and help. Like, we should have the National Guard come in and help, just get all these illegals out of here and get it done before the midterms. Like, that is what we're talking about here. And that when it comes to local policy, I love Trump, but he's too soft. He's too soft. He had Pam Bondi that was just basically doing nothing for about 2 years. And now we're kind of with our, back against the wall here as far as time, when we got August, September, and October to get rid of these people before they can start voting and disenfranchising like the actual Black people and Latinos that have a right to vote, because they're flooding our communities with these illegal immigrants, and then not having to show ID to vote is just disenfranchising us because we turned to Trump. So that's what I think I need. I think we need people from the National Guard and ICE to have more power and be able to do things faster, which is what Asman is saying.
How does this make sense, man? ICE isn't new. I know. Like, can you
No, in every state of the United States, in every state where you have a blue enclave, like, there's places anywhere where black people and Latinos turn to Trump, like any blue state that turned purple, or purple state or county that turned red, that's where they're flooding it with immigrants. And that's where they're trying to pass no ID voting laws.
Can you at least explain, like, and bring one point of contention at all, other than like these like vague posts? Like, that's what you're doing. You're just vague posting. Like, I don't understand this at all. I'll let this person respond like maybe 1 or 2 more times, then I want to move on and look at some other stuff. Mafiels, yeah. I mean, there's nothing else really other than that to it, right? I mean, we'll see what you're saying. Even if you don't want to ban him, it sounds like you can't comprehend it. Oh, anyway, emotional voter right now. You can't really blame the dude for relying on false narratives. All you can find on mainstream news is either full support or full criticism. Well, I mean, it's all right. You're good. You want to move on. Don't want to have a bunch of stuff in spot. I wonder why. Okay, right. So, yeah, I mean, there it is. They think the typical removal should take 16 years like the Haitians, and they're moving too hastily to remove criminals. The reason why, so this is the reason why they're not doing that. And I'll explain it because I think that people don't understand this. The reason why they're trying to say that ICE isn't trained or anything else is because they want to extend the process long enough that they can undo the electoral loss that they suffered, so then they can allow it to happen. They basically want to play for time until the next Republican, the next Democratic president, right? And so then they can undo it. And then all the people that were going to be deported, they can, you know, turn off the proceedings for deporting them. That's the reason why they want it to take a long time. I don't think that there's any reason why something like that should take a long time. Are you in the country legally or not? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, then you need to leave right now. That's literally it. Tom Homan received a distinguished presidential rank award from all his deportations under Obama. Yeah, Tom Homan is I mean, like, and again, like, I think this is, I think he's a patriot. He absolutely.
Hey, Texas, I want you to check this out, right? I want you to see that these people, I put this in the chat. Let me put it in again, right? I made this article a long time ago, and this goes into proving, right? And it's you know, it's good for study. I know that you sometimes study this, but like the way that they moved these immigrants was very specifically to counter the gains that Trump had with us in the Black and Latino community. And I think it has all the links, and it has all the evidence of why these claims can be made. It even shows some of these reps themselves admitting that this is their plan, and how much they are having too many mistakes in the voting roll. So I wanted you to take a look at this, and also anyone in the chat. This is my old Twitter account, but I also have this posted in the Liberty Politics. Like this is my, you know, the things that I've posted about, right? Like I've already used this international law thing and shared it from Ask Haviv long before the interview, right? So this is some of the stuff, and this is how they're replacing us as people of color and Latinos and Black people that support Trump. We are the people that the Democrats are actually trying to replace. We are the community that is being disenfranchised again by Democrats. Yeah, I did my best. Like I'm no way a reporter. Like I'm not a journalist in any way. But if you look at what they call a journalist now, I think you'll like it. Let me put it again for anyone else that wants to see it. Like this is just like, you know, some investigative reporting that I did as just like a common everyday man, to show people that these people don't care about us. They don't care about Black people. They don't care about Latinos. They care about power. That's what they care about. And that's why they moved those people into our communities, because as soon as we decided to start going a little more conservative, they don't need us anymore. They don't want us anymore. And they stopped helping us a long time ago. If they ever did. I don't think they ever did. I think that maybe there was half a second in the 90s, but not for long.
Absolutely is. And there's no other footage about this either. ICE slammed out the retard. Oh my God. And he had a social security number and he was authorized to work in the US. They're just fucking killing people.
Okay, so I want to explain to you what happens if you are an American who has a, you know, a job and a social security number, if you are an immigrant who has a job and a social security number, if you are a chimpanzee that is driving a car at a police officer, doesn't fucking matter what you are. If you try to run over a cop, you're gonna fucking die.
This is the fat retard that they hired to appeal to Gen Z and young men.
I remember
you remember
that.
her?
Oh my God, that
And
was so
you know,
embarrassing.
she was weighing in on the issue, and they wrote all the articles about this. And yeah, they're just fucking killing people. Hopefully they should kill more of them. I do. I think that any of these people that are trying to be violent towards a police officer should face death. That's the way I see it. I don't know why we're putting up with this behavior. This is a first world country. I don't know why we're allowing it to turn into a third world shithole. Should not happen. And anyway, let's see if I can find any more of these. But yeah, it's just the same usual
You
complainers.
see how
right?
that protest came out? You see the
About
organizer
20
with
minutes
the
away from
blowhorn?
this, and I spent a fortune on meetings. I remember her. Oh God! And if ICE was just killing people, wouldn't we see more than 5 deaths?
That's a great point. Is that 5 deaths in 2 years? In 2 years. Oh, ISIS is just out there killing people. Come on.
Yes, we would.
Hey, you know what? I did see it. We went over it. We went over an Ask Habib video about it, and we discussed it. Ask Habib is the person that had Armin on. They also did a great short about it. So if you want to rewind back to the start of the show later or tomorrow, whenever you want to catch up on it, that's exactly what we started on. So I think you're gonna love it. And hey, don't worry about it. I mean, you can catch it at your leisure. It's going to be recorded here. It's going to be recorded on the Liberty Politics site. So, you know, you're going to be able to catch it.
Yes, we would indeed. We would see more than 5 people that have been killed by ICE if they are just going around shooting people willy-nilly. That's it. I thought Trump was cracking down H-1B visas. Why did Xbox fire all those people just to bring in 2,200 H-1B visa workers? So this is a completely separate topic.
I thought Trump was cracking down on H-1B visas. So why did Xbox fire all those people? Oh my God. This is so retarded. Okay. I want to hear something here that's very true. Law enforcement officers die more in law enforcement officer encounters than civilians. Yes.
You got clickbaited. Microsoft filed for H-1B visas. Trump did not get rid of H-1B visas. He added a higher ceiling or a higher benchmark for people to meet in order to bring people over. And Xbox did not hire 2,200 people. This was a clickbait article designed to make you angry. These were filings that were done by Microsoft. How many employees does Microsoft have? Xbox has like what, fucking, like 15,000 employees or something like that.
Yes. Everything he's saying here is true.
But Microsoft probably has, multiple times that.
Like, this guy is not at all a fucking right winger. This guy is very, very much center right, left on a whole bunch of issues, right? But what's happening is that the left has gotten so retarded with their propaganda that it is forcing logical people to the right. So this guy is defending Trump. He likes Trump, but he didn't start liking Trump. He just has been pushed to liking Trump because the left is so retarded. Right? The more time passes, the more retarded the left acts, the more they're pushing him. And there's a lot of people that are in the center left that have been pushed center right just out of not being able to discuss topics logically. Asmongold is a good guy. We love the Hermit King. I love the Hermit King. I think he's fantastic. And he also had me on his show one day talking about a different topic. And he was super respectful to me. And I was even on the other side of the topic that he was talking about. But he was respectful to me, heard me out. And I convinced him. I brought him over to my side of the argument. It wasn't really about politics. It was a gaming thing. But I was pretty proud of myself because I know this is a smart man. The only way I'm going to convince him is the truth. And I told him the truth. I'm not going to talk about what it was, but it's gaming stuff. Don't worry about it.
Thanks for clarification. Yeah, you got clickbaited, man. I know there's a lot of people that saw that, but it's not accurate.
I'm going to cut it there, right? We've gone about 10 minutes over. I just wanted to do 2 hours. But I think it's been a good stream. I'm really happy with you guys. I'm going to put his video here. We want to give the Hermit King his views. Obviously, because personally, I like this guy. As you guys can see how he's moving in these discussions, right? Right now, he is watching a whole bunch of videos. He's just basically talking about the subject. He talks about the subject for about 28 minutes and 50 about and this was 14 hours ago. This isn't even 24 hours ago. He has almost 700,000 views. Let me see. Let me refresh this. Yeah, he just got another 1,000. He got another 1,000 while we watched. Yeah, it appeals to guys. Texas says her husband watches it. Yeah. He appeals very much to guys, but the Hermit King is a great guy. So I put the link there in the chat for you guys. I'm gonna put my link in the chat in case anyone wants to subscribe to me. I really appreciate it. I want to make a point in here for you guys to be able to come see me and have someone from Liberty Politics at this time that you guys can talk to. It's gonna be pretty much about American topics, but we go with the flow because America is a world power. So it is what it is. Oh, okay. So here is something that he did to help everyone with in UK. Like he read, this is 7 hours, not 6 hours. No. 7 hours, 6 hours, 52 minutes. He read the entire inquiry. The entire inquiry in one sitting, and he has it at 1,300,000 views right now. So we have to appreciate that this guy is like putting himself out there, doing what he can to make people be aware of what's going on with the UK. So there's people all around the world that appreciate it. And with that, I gotta go. But before I go, I want to bless you guys, bless your health, bless your wealth, bless your home, bless your plans, your families, your loved ones, and everyone you touch. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.